Hey guys, Pitmaster. Um, we are going to talk about self-defense today. Okay, beautiful day. Let's talk about what is self-defense and how you could use it. And we are going to use a case. We're going to go on the Trayvon Martin case and the George Zimmerman case and talk about true self-defense. You as a martial artist. Um, Self-defense is exactly what it says. Defending yourself. Okay? Defend yourself or a loved one or somebody on the street. If you saw some woman getting pummeled to death and you jumped in and had to kill the guy to defend her, that's self-defense. Okay? It does go to other people as well. Defending yourself or others. If somebody was pummeling one of your family members and you jumped in to save them and had to hurt the person or kill them, that's self-defense. If you truly thought that person was in immediate danger. Definitely if you think yourself is in immediate danger, that is self-defense. Defend yourself, whether it's by punching, shooting, killing. If some guy breaks into a woman's house and he starts, punching her and she has a gun and shoots him, that's self-defense. Okay? If some guy gets on top of you in the street, you're on the concrete, and he starts punching your face, okay, and you have a weapon and use it, that's self-defense. I mean, because if you think about it, one more punch could have caused death. You're in immediate danger of being severely injured or hurt. So yes, that is self-defense. If you were on top of your adversary and you were punching him and he was just about to die, that's not self-defense. That's murder. Or attempted murder or assault and battery, or there's a whole range of things that it is. If you can get away safely but you choose to attack, it's never self-defense. Now, if you're attacking to defend yourself, because if you really think if you stop, he'll come back and kill you, then it's self-defense. So it's for the lawyers to decide. I always say it's better to be tried by 12 than carried by 6. I would rather err on the side of personal physical safety and worry about court later. Okay? But let's not go overboard on that. Okay? So that's what self-defense is. Okay? Now, let's talk about this case and break it down a little bit and decide if it was self-defense or not. Okay? And what could have changed for you as a martial artist so this won't happen to you? Because it was a complete tragedy on both ends. As Bill Maher so eloquently said, now after this, George Zimmerman will never get to go anywhere again without being, mocked and criticized and abused, and he'll always have that. But what Bill Maher forgot to eloquently say is Trayvon Martin won't ever go anywhere again, period, because he's dead. This could have been avoided on both sides very easily. They both used terrible judgment. Okay, and for anyone to say that split second when Trayvon was on top of Zimmerman punching his face in, and they say that wasn't self-defense, this is a really easy test for Obama, Al Sharpton, Bill Maher. Pretend your mother was on the bottom and someone was punching her face. Would she have the right to defend herself? No matter, if she had a gun or a knife or whatever, would she have that right to defend herself? Would your child have that right to defend themselves? If someone's on top of you punching your face in on the concrete, would you have the right to defend yourself? The answer is yes. Okay, you do have that right to defend yourself. Um, so that's an easy one. That's a no-brainer. Yes, Zimmerman had the right to defend himself. But he didn't have to be in that situation in the first place. It was, a series of errors on his part to even put himself in that position. Okay, and on the other side of that, it was a series of errors on Trayvon's part to put him in that position. Okay, what put the jury, the self-defense for the self-defense. In other words, he was defending himself in court for defending himself on the street. It really hurt Trayvon's case because he didn't seem scared. He didn't call 911 and say some guy's stalking me and I'm scared. He didn't say that. That would have definitely shifted things. But to text, make his last text, some creepy cracker ass punk is following me, I'm gonna kick his ass. That took away from his I'm scared, or it took away from the prosecution's, he was scared and this guy was stalking him and stuff. That kind of took away from it. Now, if he felt like he was really scared and he attacked Zimmerman out of fear and defending himself, the prosecution probably would have had an easier case if he wasn't calling him a cracker and fuck him and yo and that kind of stuff just didn't weigh right for the jury. Okay, what could have Zimmerman done differently? Stay in your fucking car. If you are a martial artist and you can kick butt and somebody's in your neighborhood, you're not going to get out of the car and confront him. Your life's not in jeopardy. That is not self-defense at that point. Okay? Calling 911 is the smart thing to do. Always. Okay? If someone breaks into your house, get your gun. Okay? Call 911. And while they're on the phone, defend your life if you have to. But always go to the default of calling 911. Okay? If Zimmerman did that, things would have been different. Stay in your car, call 911. If you feel like you have to watch the person because you think they're going to, break into, one of the homes on your watch, okay. But to get out of your car and confront him, look what happened, George. It didn't work out well for either side. So that is not true self-defense, I don't think. While he was mounted, getting pounded, now it's self-defense. But you could have prevented that, George, by staying in your car. You could have prevented that. So my advice to you guys is, okay, this is my advice as a martial artist. If you're George Zimmerman and you really think someone's maybe in your neighborhood and shouldn't be there, okay, your life's not in immediate danger. You don't need to get out and defend your life. Call 911. Okay? Stay in the car if you want to, but call 911. Okay? Now, if you call 911 and stayed in your car and he came and tried to pull you out of the car and tried to kill you then, now that's real self-defense. Okay? On the other side of that, if you're walking and you think someone's harassing you, call 911. Try to get away from them. Don't start calling your friends and threatening and then attack him. That wasn't smart either. So it could have been avoided on both parts. Okay? Was it a racial versus a white thing? No, because they were both minorities. So that had nothing to do with it. It just had to do with two people making really bad choices, and it turned out tragically for both sides. Mainly for Trayvon's side, but for George Zimmerman's side too. So that's my advice. Take it if you want, don't if you don't, but that's how I feel about self-defense, and that's what I want my students to do. And just a little in closing, when it comes to self-defense, if you're stupid enough to call a 17-year-old a child, I know that putting pictures up of Trayvon when he was like 8 and shit, saying he killed this guy. No, at 17 you're not a child anymore. Antonio Cervantes learned that a 30-year-old boxer when Wilfredo Benitez beat him. Do you remember that? Wilfredo Benitez, 17-year-old, won the world junior welterweight title by beating a 30-year-old Antonio Cervantes. Antonio didn't say, "Oh, this is a kid, a child." He was a man. You're a man physically. You're a man at 17. There are hundreds of soldiers died and killed in Vietnam that were 17 years old. If Trayvon had killed Zimmerman at 17, I guarantee you he would have been tried as an adult. So if you want to try to sway things and call him a child, because it sounds better for your case, that's your own stupidity. But a 17-year-old is a man. He was physically a man. So if you're needing to defend yourself and it's against a 17-year-old and he's punching you in the face, treat him like a man, because that is a man.